At the end of what is widely regarded as one of the greatest Doctor Who stories ever made, Peter Davison's Doctor regenerates. The new Doctor sits up, is abrupt with his companion, and then declares that his regeneration is not a moment too soon. The arrogant way he says this, coupled with the blinking which makes him look slightly shifty, would have been a solid gold hook for the next series. This series has ended with a great story, and we have a Doctor who may be a bit grittier than the ones we're used to. The viewers would have been counting the days till the next series. But then, for reasons which have never been properly explained, they decided to tack Colin Baker's first story onto the end of Peter Davison's last series. Colin Baker had wanted to play the Doctor as a gruff, somewhat difficult man who dressed in black. In fact, not unlike Peter Capaldi in his first season as the Doctor. In the past, actors who played the Doctor had brought their own interpretation to the role, but this was the 1980s, and Doctor Who was now corporate-made television. The actors, even the leading man, had little or no creative input. So the Doctor is saddled with a costume which looks like a cross between a Hawaiian shirt and a clown's outfit. This means he has no chance of blending into the background. It also means that everything else in this story has to look equally lurid and garish, otherwise it'll just seem drab. Then there's the Doctor's character. The writers seem to have taken the notion of making a darker and grittier Doctor to absolute extremes. There is absolutely nothing to like about this Doctor. He's not an anti-hero. He's an utterly horrible, obnoxious person who knocks women about, tells them their only function is to run round after him, despicably puts his companion in danger, and is generally loud and irritating. If this had been an Edge of Destruction type story, set aboard the TARDIS with only the regulars, it could have involved a reason why he is like this. Perhaps some kind of alien force is possessing him. But instead, the story is more concerned with what is quite frankly the stuff of dodgy 50s B-movies. There are a couple of genius twins who are capable of moving planets about just with equations. They were intended as a couple of twin girls who would be unearthly and a bit creepy, probably based on the girls in The Shining. But then the executives spoke up, said they'd had to be played by boys, and so we have a couple of pudding bowl-haired, irritating characters who are unbelievably smug and awful and just grate on the viewer's nerves. They are kidnapped by what seems to be a slug in dealy boppers. He wants to use their equations to cause a supernova, which he hopes will scatter his eggs across space, and therefore send them to inhabited planets where they can hatch. Does this make any kind of sense whatsoever?
In order for the eggs to survive a supernova and a meteor-like plummet to an alien planet, they would have to be so strong and resilient that the embryos inside would be unable to break out of them.
Thank you, Professor Wolfkins. As with a lot of train-wreck Doctor Who stories of this era, this adventure does at least contain a couple of decent actors who do the best with what they're given. Maurice Denham and Kevin McNally. McNally is a space policeman who starts off dressed in what seems to be a dentist's outfit dyed blue, and finishes up apparently volunteering to be the Sunday roast. Maybe he'd just seen what the rest of the script had in store. You know when they're in the police headquarters because there are little model spaceships on the desks. Presumably if this had been a butcher's shop, there would be little plastic pigs and sheep and cows. Let's hope Doctor Who never features a proctologist. There also seem to be a bunch of aliens who have plasticine noses for some reason. And the ending just seems to be the Doctor strolls casually into Trendy Slug's throne room and throws some acid at him. Colin Baker's Doctor would improve after this, and he has shown in more recent years he can be a great Doctor when given decent material to work with. But at this point it seems like the show has committed self-destruction. There are people who refuse to even watch any more of Colin Baker's episodes. And the actor, Colin Baker, is such a decent, warm-hearted man that you can't help realising what a tragedy it was that his time in the series was completely compromised by decisions he had no control over. And I can't help thinking that a lot of the bile directed at his incarnation is because of this story.